Hey, this week on Convincing Idiots, you're lucky you clicked on it. You're lucky you're listening. You're lucky you're watching. This week, we're going to talk about the Bronze Fonz. Henry Winkler's coming back to Milwaukee with a statue. There's going to be age restrictions on the internet to protect our kids. We're going to talk about that. And in our main event, we are going to come up and talk about our most disappointing sports moments. All of that and so much more this week on Convincing Idiots. What are you doing? What are we doing? Let's start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Gazenial.
I'm Brian Jennings.
And I am Millennial Nick. And this is Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of three friends who represent three different generations. We get together right here each and every week to discuss all things nerd and pop culture. So if you like nerd and pop culture, do yourself a favor. Go find us on all of your favorite social media accounts. Interact with us, like, subscribe, rate, review, tell all your friends about us. And you can find links to all of those platforms laid out conveniently for you on our link tree. So go to Google, type in Convincing Idiots, Linktree, Linkttree, and follow those links. Like I said, be sure to interact with us. And there's also where you can download and listen to this podcast each and every week. So whichever podcast platform you prefer. There is also a link to our web store through TeePublic if you would like to treat yourself or someone you love to Convincing Idiots merch. There's also a link to our email if you would like to send us a message and let us know maybe you enjoy the show. Hey, like what you're doing. Maybe you go, hey, you guys fuck right off. Don't like what you're doing. Whatever. We accept all feedback, both positive and negative. You can find that information and even more if you head on over to our website directly, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So listen. So this is episode 290 of Convincing Idiots. Dean, what's happening at the Old Town Tavern over there? What you drinking?
I am here at the Convincing Idiots Speakeasy drinking a Brewdog Spring Bock. A nice Bock they put out during the spring.
What's it springing Bach from?
You. No, it's a very delicious Bock that Brewdog puts out during the spring, and it does say on the side that we're Bock for good. So maybe, hopefully, they're going to put this out all year round. I hope so, because it's a very good beer. I would like to have it all year round.
Okay.
All right.
Good deal. Ryan, what about you?
Something new this evening. I have a Sam Adams Breakaway Blonde. This is part of their spring variety pack. It's a new one. At least new to me anyway. Very good. Very nice, refreshing blonde ale. So, yeah, very good. So if you like that lighter, you'll definitely enjoy that. Pick up that spring
We
pack.
all
There's some
like
good stuff in there.
blondes.
That's right. Blondes have more fun, they say.
That's right. That's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Nick keeps us happy
Uh,
because he's dyed his hair blonde.
That's right.
All
I don't
the
want to show
time,
off
and-
how fun I am, actually.
Right.
I am drinking from Victory
A scalpy
Brewing,
blonde.
Golden Monkey, Belgian style, triple.
right.
Yeah, it's
Always
quite
good.
delicious. This was given to me Friday night, actually, by a friend when we were out having some beers, and I was like, I took some home at the end of the night, and it's quite good.
You took or
Very
you
good.
stole?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It was kind of hazy, but I'm pretty sure he gave
Yeah.
them to me.
I think you did.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, boys, we are back for tonight. We are 10 away from being to our 300th episode.
Yeah.
That's right.
Should we let everybody know that we're going to do the 300th episode totally in the nude? Or should we save that, keep that a secret?
Yeah, just keep them guessing.
All right.
I thought that was
I'm sorry.
kind of like a tradition for a lot of podcasts, isn't it? Isn't that
Mhm.
like
Right.
in the industry? Don't a lot of people
Did
do
you
that?
watch the Stephen A. Smith? It was quite the hell of a podcast. Joe Rogan's was very surprising. That
Mhm.
happened like fucking 20 years ago, so whatever.
That's what horse tranquilizers will do to a penis.
Yeah.
I mean, if I stand up, you'll see.
All right. We'll start with a feel-good story. No death. None of that stuff here.
That's
What?
good.
No deaths?
No deaths.
Nobody's dying. All right.
Well, it just.
Well,
I'm
people
sure there
are,
are, but we're not
Well,
going to
sure.
mention.
Not anyone important enough for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Well,
Let's
this
hear it.
actor he's an older actor, but he's still with us, and he's one of my favorite actors out there. One of my favorite celebrities, really, I think.
Mhm.
Henry Winkler
The best. The
just turned
Fonz.
80. Let's see here. He paid his most recent. There's a Bronze Fonz statue in Milwaukee to pay homage to Henry Winkler as the Fonz. It's the Fonz character doing the thumbs up. Why Milwaukee? Well, Milwaukee is the setting of where Happy Days was.
Sure,
If you
sure.
may not know that.
Well,
So
what's the point of the Fonz, the Henry Winkler?
there's
We're
pictures of
celebrating
him.
that he's not dead yet.
So it's
right.
not
He's
his
80.
birthday. We're just saying we like
He's-
the Fonz.
We're just saying we like the Fonz. There's a
I
picture.
like
There's
that.
recent pictures of him on social media visiting the statue. So
Okay.
that's it. So he's promoting a new show that's out there on
What is this show?
is on streaming. It is Hazardous History with Henry Winkler. It airs at 9 p.m. Sunday nights on the History Channel.
Yeah. I
Yes.
watched season 1. It was good.
Yeah. So he's just promoting his show, getting out there, and I just like to see a picture of Henry Winkler
Sure.
standing by
Very good.
himself as the Fonz. So
I actually really like this for us. We've been, I think, in many circles, we're widely known for our obituaries section of the show.
Right.
So I like
you
as
say
a
Henry
pivot
Winkler,
that
I got
we
scared.
we take the time to celebrate someone that we love, a celebrity that is still with us, and we're going to celebrate that they're not dead, and that's a good thing. I like that.
that's it.
Makes me happy.
Brian, have
Yeah.
you ever watched Barry, Bill Hader's show?
I know
on,
the show. I've not
HBO?
seen it. I've not
It is
seen
Dude,
it.
I have a
incredible.
lot of
First
time
of all,
on my hand. I should do that.
It is an incredibly dark comedy.
Okay.
Very good, and Henry Winkler is phenomenal in it.
What
I
is that?
did not know he was on
HBO
it.
or
Okay.
That's on HBO. Yep.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I have a lot of time on my hands these days. I'm gonna found out that I'm gonna be off work for the next 4 weeks, so
All right.
I think I'll put that on my list.
Yeah,
Very
that's
good.
good. It's very good. Yeah.
I will check that out. And he's also in a new movie, Normal, with Bob Odenkirk, which is in theaters now. It's a crime thriller about a remote Minnesota town concealing a dark secret.
Okay,
I like
Let's
Minnesota, and I
celebrate
like their
Henry
secrets.
Winkler. Yeah,
I love
all
Henry.
right. God
I mean,
damn it.
if you've ever listened to Henry Winkler on any sort of interview podcast or whatever, he might be one of the nicest human beings fucking ever. It's amazing. He's
Yeah.
so terrific.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is we'll raise a glass here to
Absolutely.
Henry Winkler, the Fonz. Yes.
To the
Mr.
Fonz,
Winkler.
Henry Winkler.
Mhm. Give him some flowers. Okay, big lawsuit in pop culture news, gentlemen. Live Nation and Ticketmaster found to be a monopoly
Guilty. Yes.
in a landmark antitrust
Shocking.
ruling in Manhattan. So, a federal jury in Manhattan has found Live Nation and its ticketing arm, Ticketmaster, to be operating as a monopoly. The decision grows out of a broad, and this is, by the way, I'm reading this off of VanguardOnline.com. It's a federal jury, and it's so the decision grows out of a broad antitrust case brought by the U.S. Department of Justice together with more than 30 states and the District of Columbia, and it raises fresh questions about how concerts are promoted, how venues choose ticketing partners, and how much consumers ultimately pay. So there's also it's a very good New York Times podcast called The Daily. It's a
Okay.
daily podcast, focuses on a lot of interesting
Be
topics.
weird
And
if it
today's
wasn't.
topic, yep, today's it's a daily. It comes out monthly, oddly. No, but today's subject was this very case, so you can get more information if it's something that interests
Convincing
you.
Idiots
But
is about a bunch of smartphone guys.
yeah, absolutely. No, but basically, what they're saying is that Live Nation kind of essentially has been using bullying tactics on various venues. Like, hey, if you want our concerts to come to your venue, then you've got to use Ticketmaster, which of course they benefit from on the ticket sales. As we all know, as ticket consumers, the fees seems like they continue to rise. There's all kinds of crazy add-ons and different things. It just seems to get more expensive, and there's no other option. There's zero, as we know, if you're going to go to a venue and you want to buy a ticket, there is no other option other than if you find a resale or something like that, and that
I
could
mean,
be
there
even
are
more money
resale.
anyway.
There are resale sites that you can go to, like TickPix
Yeah.
is one where you
Yeah,
can kind
Game
of
time.
gain
You're
time.
right, but
There are better
it's not necessarily going to be
options.
cheaper than the
Well,
original
some of
ticket
them
on
are. Like
Well,
when we
yeah.
went to Boston, we got 12th row behind home plate Fenway for and we did it probably a week before, and we got it like $113 a seat. I mean, really fucking cheap.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got to look for the deals, but they are out there.
Yeah. Okay, but the initial sale, they're forcing venues to use their ticket site, and there's been some of the lawsuit testimony is that they've bullied venues to use Ticketmaster where they've wanted to use other ticket providers. So it's a very interesting case. Like it was started by the federal government. The Justice
Sure.
Department brought the suit, had some type of odd settlement. They dropped out, and along with some states that were in the suit that chose to take some type of offer. However, there were a group of other states that decided to move forward anyway, found a lawyer to take the case, pushed forward, and won. Right. So now it's just they don't really know exactly what will happen from here. There could be settlements where states that were in the lawsuit get some type of money back from Ticketmaster that they could pass. There could be awarded back to consumers or otherwise by hiking up prices. That could open the doors to other ticket providers to start to be more competitive. So it's a lot of kind of wait and see from here. So what do you guys think? Is it a good thing for Ticketmaster and Live Nation to be penalized? But maybe it might be extreme if they were broken up. But do you think it's a monopoly? And do you think they should be broken up and allow, or at least find a way for other ticket providers to jump in and compete with ticket prices? Nick, what do you think? You're a concert goer.
Yeah. I mean, they absolutely are. Ticketmaster has been the primary source to buy tickets from for as long as I've been going to concerts or any type of event. So it was always there was a Ticketmaster retailer in Rolling Acres Mall that we would go and get concert
Absolutely.
tickets to and stuff like that. And back then, I mean, concert tickets, there's always a price for entertainment, and they have gone up exponentially in the ratio of the increase of what events cost versus the cost of it's skyrocketed. It's way more than they used to be in comparison to cost of living and what other things cost. So they absolutely are, and I was when Live Nation first came around, I was like, "Oh, this is an alternative," but they're owned by Ticketmaster. It's the same thing. It's
That's
like
right.
them.
Yep.
It's the WWE buying WCW and still calling it WCW, but letting them exist, but still owning them. It's
Mhm.
the same thing. Absolutely. My problem is I wouldn't care like if you're the only one, that's fine. It's just that the taking advantage of it is what I have a problem with, right?
Right.
And that's
Right.
why the only time I ever purchase a ticket from Ticketmaster or Live Nation is if I absolutely have to. Like if it's the only place I can find, went and saw Pearl Jam last May. In order to get into, so this was an example where it would be cheaper to buy from Ticketmaster because in this scenario, those tickets were in such high demand, they will sell out immediately. So you have to be there for 15 minutes early in the waiting room, be on your phone as soon as the tickets go on sale to snag a ticket for $150 nosebleed seats. Now, if you don't get those and you would like to try to buy them at resale, those same seats are selling for $800 on TickPix, on Game Time, on whatever, because there are some, or like Taylor Swift would be an example. If you think you're going to go buy resale Taylor Swift tickets cheaper than what you're going to get them for on the day that they go for sale on Ticketmaster, it's not happening. But if it's something like that, Rush Tickets, been watching really closely here on TickPix and Game Time. The cheapest option would have been had
I
I
can
been
put a
able
microphone
to
next to a bowl and I'll
snag
shit in
them,
the bowl and you can hear the same
snag
thing.
them the same day. That is the cheapest you're going to get them. Now those prices are still out of hand, but
Mhm.
it's only going to get worse from there. Now, other smaller shows and a lot of sporting events, people buy season tickets to things and they resell those tickets. Those are always good to get on Game Time or TickPix.
Right.
But yeah, if you've got like a really in high demand like concert or something like that, you have to buy them from Ticketmaster or Live Nation as soon as they go on sale because they won't get cheaper. So they absolutely should. Like I said, if you're the only one out there doing it, that's one thing. But I feel like they're just grossly taking advantage of the situation, and that they are the only ones. That is the problem.
Right.
I
Dean, what
don't
do you think?
know. Let me play devil's advocate, Nick. Ticketmaster is, yes, it sucks that they just keep raising the prices, but if you want to be just to the bones about it, that's what society is. That is what the demand is. They can get away with it. They do. And the fact that they bullying people out, shit. Nick mentioned wrestling earlier. Vince McMahon would go to the pay-per-view companies back in the 90s and threaten and said, if you carried a WCW pay-per-view on your on your pay-per-view provider, you will not get WrestleMania, and which caused them to shut out WCW. So this is not for the entertainment business. This is not a new situation. They have, every business has done this to their competitors. We want to live in a capitalistic society. If you do, I mean, that's per person's opinion. But if you want to live in a capitalistic society, this is what happens. The strong survive, and Ticketmaster, whatever version they can put out there, whatever name, has survived, and this is what they're able to do. Does it suck? Yeah, it does. But unless the government comes in and says, you have to lower the prices, which is a weird thing to do in capitalism, is for unless you've done something actually wrong, which I don't know if they have. Have they? I mean, have they listed any sort of crime that's been?
Well, what they're citing is that they're forcing venues, if you
Again,
by their shows, by their
which
acts.
is
Right. So
wrong. Which is
if you
wrong.
want
I
our
agree.
act to come there, I'm not going to put my act in your venue
Which is,
unless
like I
you
said, what
use
Vince McMahon
Ticketmaster.
did. Right.
Yeah. So
But
that's wrong.
so that's wrong. So fix that. But the idea that like ticket prices keep going up and this is the only place we're going to get it, that's they won. You know what I mean? That's
Well,
capitalism.
Yeah, the Times podcast kind of talked about that as well. Is it necessarily going to lower prices? And the answer is no. To your point,
No, of course not.
and they've made a point in if there's people willing to pay $1,000 to go see Rihanna, they still might pay $1,000 to see. However, if you're not paying all the fees and so forth to Ticketmaster, maybe more of that money goes somewhere else. Maybe it goes to the
Sure.
venue, maybe it goes to the artist, maybe it goes to both. I don't know, but it's not going to these ridiculous made up fees
But simply
to the ticket company. You know what I
the
mean?
way capitalism works, and you guys know it, is this Lowe's cup, this little Lowe's bucket. Brian, how much you give? Tell me how much you're going to give for me for this.
I will give you 50 cents. I paid, yeah, that's it. No, 50 cents. Yeah.
But 50 cents. Nick, how look at this beautiful, but oh, it's got a handle. Did you even see the handle? Nick, how much are you going to give me for it?
I'll give you 25 because I already have one.
$25? That's
Cents. No.
But my point is, it's anything for sale is worth what somebody else is going to pay for it.
Right.
Simple as
Mhm.
that. And if you
Yeah.
if you have tickets to see Pearl Jam, if they're on, if they go to the public for $50, $75, $100 a ticket, and you pay for it, that's how much they're worth.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Ticketmaster isn't. I mean, they're there for a profit. They're not a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
So
like Brian
it
said, the
sucks.
problem is them making so much. Like the prices, like you said, if the prices are the same, maybe that gets distributed a little bit differently. Which I'm okay with paying for the venue and paying for the employees that I'm buying beer from that night, and certainly paying the artist is the reason that I'm there to see them. You know what I mean? Like it's the aggravating part is yes, just this to move tickets around via the internet is
Well,
yeah.
sure. Okay, I get that part. That definitely could be, looked at and taken care of. But I'm just arguing against the idea of like high ticket
Sure.
prices.
I would be curious to know, like, if there's a statistic on, like, concert attendances. I mean, are they as good as they once were? You know what I mean? Because they're exponentially more. So I wonder if we're not really seeing it. Like, example that Pearl Jam show. I hadn't seen them in 15 years or something. I'm like, it's my favorite band. I'm like, I don't care. I spent almost $500 on two tickets. I'm like, I'm
Jesus
going.
Christ.
Like, it's happening. You know what I mean? There was nothing that was going to. It was more than I wanted to pay, but I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking going. Like,
Well, sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be an interesting statistic. I mean, I don't know if you'd see. I think certain acts you wouldn't tell the difference, but then if you go talk to consumers, maybe the volume of shows that people see, at least bigger acts, is. I would venture to guess that's probably went down. You
Sure.
spent $500 for that one show, but how many more shows are you going to be able to go see with a bigger act?
Sure.
Spending that
Right.
much, just for instance,
Right.
there's probably numbers like that out there in statistics.
I mean,
it'll be
you're putting out there, $500 for 2 tickets, Nick. I mean, as an average family, you have, 2 kids and a wife. You're putting out $500. You got to buy groceries. you
Yeah.
got to buy gas, which is up
Not
right
that
now.
month. Not the month of the Pearl Jam show.
No, not that month. I mean,
Be
But
creative
you
with the
look around-
condiments in the
noodles.
fridge. We'll
ramen
figure it
noodles,
out.
Jack. Yep.
ramen
Mhm.
noodles. But where the object of living in society these days is you're buying $500 Pearl Jam tickets.
Mm.
Where does it stop? You
Mhm.
have to save money somewhere, and I suggest going for your insurance.
Mm-hmm. Good way to cut corners there. Well, you're not cutting any corners on
And
the
let me-
quality.
Nope.
Correct
because
that
this
before I
shitty
did a Dean ad read
read.
and made him sound like shit.
That's right. You son of a. Because I'm going to tell you, the Blake Insurance Group, they're the ones going to save you money. He's saving Nick money. Nick, you were able to
Yes.
buy those tickets. Why?
That's right.
Because you save money on
Insurance through Blake Insurance. Yep.
There you
That's
go.
right. It's an independent agency located in Barberton, Ohio, offering personal care and support for all of your insurance needs. If you need auto, home, business, or even life insurance, give Aaron a call. He'll treat you with the honesty and respect and care that you deserve. Call the Blake Insurance Group at 234-571-5359 or find them online at blakeinsurancellc.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you tell him that you're going to choose quality insurance over overpriced tickets this week or this month.
There you go. All right, guys. Age verification is coming for the internet. And it's already raising red flags. So there's legislative efforts to age gate parts of the internet. Some experts warn of compliance, data security breaches. So in short, there's some states that are passing or seeking to pass laws that has some form of mandatory age verification for certain websites and applications to confirm or estimate users' ages before they grant access to certain content. What do you think of age restrictions on the internet, Nick? You guys both have small children at home. I'm interested to hear your take on it. So, Nick, what do you think?
Very necessary. The internet, I like to think that someday when we kind of catch up to where we've gone with the rest of technology, we're going to look back on this time and go, can you believe? Like, we just had, it was the Wild West. And same for, I mean, truly, much could be said the same for when I was growing up. I mean, I had a computer in my room and I was able to, as long as you know how to get somewhere on the internet and you can search things, you can, you know what I mean? But I think for so long, anymore, there's, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand with like society. We're becoming a little bit more numb to what some things are like. Things just seem to progress to crazier and crazier levels on the internet, and you'll always be able to, I guess, people can always find whatever it is maybe that they're looking for. But like, I think at some point, if we get proper legislation on the internet, at least around children, like we're going to look back on this time and go, that's crazy that we let our kids just like on there where there's access to everything. That's not necessarily to say to guarantee that a kid's going to find something that is inappropriate or that is, bad for them or whatever. But like it there's a lot you need. I think it's hard to navigate. Like, we've always paid really close attention to what our kids, or tried to at least, what our kids are accessing. But not every kid has that, and it's just pretty wild that like what you can find and what you can get into on the internet is kind of scary when you really think about it. So like, I think it's very necessary to have something. I mean, like I said, there's always going to be ways around things, but it's important to try, at least fucking try, like try to protect people, like try to put some guardrails up.
Yep.
Okay.
Dean, what do you think?
First of all, how is anybody supposed to realize what their kinks are unless they're allowed to look for them, Nick?
That's true.
If you're
you
not,
you can't dig through magazines in your dad's closet anymore, because I mean, we're not doing hard copies and stuff.
I'm a good parent. I keep my son off the internet completely, and I give him a stack of all of the Playboys from the 1970s, and I give them for him to look at, because I don't want him to have a distorted view of what human nature is. I'm a good parent. But I think children should be able to find their kinks. And Nick, if you can't look up foot fetish or back end of Bluey's tail, Google it later. It's fun. You don't know what you're looking for or what you're into. So I really disagree with you, Nick, that I think kids should be open to anything that they're able to, if they can spell. We're in America. They probably can't spell anyway, so it's probably coming up with a lot of wrong searches, and they're probably not finding the smut. Like,
I'm with you on porn. I'm not talking about porn. I'm talking about like decapitations.
Are you going to argue are you going to go into this 1980s records of the satanic rock and roll music? Come on, let kids look at pornography and filth and smut. Let them be kids. We don't have the woods that we all did to find dirty magazines where we have to brush it off to see a little muddy boob and take it back to our little huts and do what we needed to do. What are we doing here? Let them be children. Okay. No, I agree with you. There has to be some sort of guidelines so small kids can't look at just pull up the worst of humanity. Of course not. Now, I was being facetious, but there is something to say of like teenagers, looking up just simple boobs and stuff. I'm not finding that to be a problem, but there is a limit of, like you said, decapitations or fucking shit films or
There's sexual it's
there's
what I mean. Exploring yourself, that's healthy. Like that's no problems there. I mean, if your kid's like 7, maybe not.
Again, that's why there should be an age situation. That's why I agree on the age situation. I mean, do you know how mad I'd be if I woke up one morning and I couldn't look up Nick in the nude on my Google search and find the greatest pictures ever? I'd be mad. I'd be real mad.
I'd be heartbroken on your behalf. Actually,
luckily, I have most of them saved onto my phone anyways, so
you may be able to find at least a scantily clad picture of Nick on convincingidiots.wordpress.com, or at least on a t-shirt. Yeah.
Can we pause? I gotta look up something, guys. Can we pause? I just want to look to find
Quizdo's apron. Quizdo's apron, Nick, young Nick.
It may actually qualify as child pornography. I don't know if I was 18 when that picture was taken.
Well, of course you were 18. You wouldn't publish anything if you weren't 18.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all looking up one morning, you go, today I want to see some little Nick nipple in my life. I need some Nick nipple in my life, so I'm gonna go to convincingidiots.wordpress.com and I'm gonna pull up Nick nipple. Not only am I gonna pull it up, but I might be able to get a little nipple on my shirt. I'm gonna walk around proudly with Nick nipple on my shirt, baby Nick nipple on my shirt. Oh yeah, baby, baby Nick nipple on my shirt. That's the way to do it, baby. Sorry.
Don't be sorry for doing Dusty. Never.
No, I apologize about the erection.
Oh well.
I'm with you guys. There should be restrictions. I mean, when it is wild. I mean, I was nervous when I got Peyton a smartphone, and she was 9 or 10 or something like that when I got her first smartphone. Of course, it was a different even time back then, but I wasn't even thrilled about that. My only requirement there was if you're going to have social media, I need to have your Facebook. It was all this stuff, your Facebook password. And I was just so nervous of all these freaks that are out there and everything, just to protect my kid. It is wild. I mean,
Dude,
I would be very nervous to have young kids today. To your point, so you try your best, because I don't know how you could police it as a parent. You just if your kid has a device.
Yeah,
there was not much that not much. Now some countries also are banning certain, like they're banning TikTok for kids. There are some countries that are starting to go to the apps as well and ban young kids. Now, of course, kids can create accounts and lie about their age. There's ways to get around stuff, but It will block a lot of average kids by
Yeah.
some of these requirements, So, like you said, they should try something.
Yeah.
Adults can still get in there, but just do something to help protect the kids. I mean, come on, man.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you
you
how
can
lucky
police
I
it.
am.
Yeah.
Real quick. So Carter comes over to me, 14 years old, and I don't know what brought it up, but I'm asking about his, like, what is him and his buddies? Because I hear them back and forth chirping at each other, right? And I've heard some curse words, not coming from him, but I'm like, what do do you guys use some of the old school, insults? He goes, I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm like, dickweed. You ever call somebody a dickweed? He goes, no, I would never. I'm like, come on, you never. He literally said that. I'm
Clips his
like,
pearls. I would what? Dickweed.
right.
My
He goes,
goodness,
I
no.
would never call him, but he goes, I don't say that. I'm like, dude, come on. You're 14 years old. You're with your buddies. You're not calling somebody a dickweed or an asshole or something like that. Nobody around. He goes, no, I really don't. I'm like, well, make it.
I believe
maybe
it.
I
do
do
too.
too.
I
But
would
he's
say
such
he
a
never.
he's
You would always
such
try.
a goddamn square.
You used to try to get him to swear when he was like a little
Right.
kid, and he was
He
like,
wouldn't even read the word of Dick's Sporting Goods on the side of the road because it was Dick's. But I told him, I said, maybe I could soften it up for you. And I came up on the spot with my new favorite insult. And I'm going to call Nick. I'm going to look at you because I told him he should use this. So I'm going to call it you right now. You are a prick princess.
a prick princess.
Prick princess. Instead of
Okay.
a dickweed, prick princess.
Okay. I like prick princess.
Right? It's a good one.
Mm-hmm, it is.
A lot of connotations. But yeah. My point is the story. First of all, I found it very funny what sort of a square I'm raising here. He's a good boy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He's a good boy. Won't curse. So I again, he's only 14. It could change. He could start looking up weird stuff, and I don't know. But so I've never had to actually deal with, the fear of like him looking up horrible stuff on the internet. But it could come, and when it does, as parents, we all deal with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Prick princess.
All right. We're going to take a break here, guys, and we're going to come back with our main topic. And Nick's going to tell us all about that.
Does anybody
right
know?
after this? It could be one topic or another.
Do we know what the topic is?
We'll see which one it is.
Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell two enemies.
In 5, 4, 3.
Hey there, hi, hello, welcome back to Convincing Idiots, our final segment of the evening. This is episode 290 by my notes. And gentlemen, we talk a lot about things on this show that, we are passionate about, that we are knowledgeable about. But Dean here and Brian as well, you guys are primarily Cleveland sports fans, along with Brian has some other teams that he likes as well. And I am a Toronto sports fan. And although we are, they exist in different countries and, different sports, regardless of how much we love our sports, both of these cities, and therefore the three of us, have plenty of experience in our topic this evening, which is going to be our most disappointing sports moments.
Okay.
So
can I say something real quick on this? Because I thought about this, and we are a global podcast. We global. Have listeners in Germany and in India and all across the world. We are based here in Northeast Ohio. We are fans of sports throughout the United States. But I know all of you out there, regardless of what our list ends up being, can relate to the heartbreak because all of you have had a football team or a cricket team out there, rugby team that has just shit the bed at the worst possible time, in the franchise history. and that eats at you. And to this day, you wake up and there's a certain time in the day where you can just, it pops in your head and you just feel like shit because of the way your team, regardless of the sport, made you feel. So I just wanted to put that out there, that this isn't, yes, this might, it is going to be U.S. centric, but take this
Well,
in
mine
the
won't be.
well, I'm saying North America centric. But take this in the idea of just remember what your sports team did to you, regardless of the sport, what your sports team did to you. And we give this list in empathy of all sports fans throughout the world. So with that said.
Yes. All right. So, well, let's get started. Dean, why don't you give us three?
Okay. Like I said, not all mine are Cleveland or Northeast Ohio centric. My first one is the 1997 Cleveland Indians World Series loss to the or 95. I'm sorry, 95 loss to the Atlanta
95 was
Braves.
the Braves, right? I was saying 97 was the Marlins.
Correct. Yeah. The 95 loss to the Atlanta Braves. Number two, Bill Buckner, Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. The ball going through his legs was.
That's it.
Again, I'll argue that when it comes up. But Bill Buckner, 1986 Game 6 World Series. And then I also have 1968, the Heidi Bowl. It is when the Jets and the Raiders were playing, and it got down to the last play to determine the end of the game. And most of the country, for some reason, the networks turned over to the TV or the movie Heidi, and they missed the end of that game.
Yep.
Big controversy. You can find actual documentaries based just upon that event itself. So those are my three, gentlemen.
Okay. Brian, what do you got?
Okay. I have in the 1987 Celtics finals versus the Lakers. Most significantly, the Magic Johnson mini skyhook shot.
Okay.
I have the 2016 Cleveland Indians losing to the Chicago Cubs after being up 3-1 in the World Series. And this is kind of a bigger, not in a game here, but certainly a very disappointing sports moment as a fan. The Jimmy Johnson leaves the Dallas Cowboys in the feud with Jerry Jones.
That's a good one. Yep. That's a good one. All right. So these are probably the three most traumatic things that have ever happened to me in my life. I have the 2025 Game 7 World Series, Toronto Blue Jays losing to the LA Dodgers. I have the 2013 epic third period collapse of the Toronto Maple Leafs to the Boston Bruins in the first round of the Stanley Cup Finals. And I have the 2003 Stanley Cup Final, the series most of all, of the Anaheim Ducks and the New Jersey Devils. So, all right. So you guys may not be familiar with a couple of those, but yeah. So
that is why we're supposed to argue.
Okay. So I want to know about the Heidi Bowl first, because I don't know what you mentioned. It sounded interesting.
Okay. All right. So in 1968, I don't even know if it was Brian. Maybe you can help me out here. It wasn't necessarily even a playoff game.
No, it wasn't. It was the Raiders and somebody. Let me see here.
But it was an important game. Like whatever was happening, whatever the game was supposed to be, it was an important game. And all throughout the country, the way TV networks were set up back then, the national feed was sent out, and the local feeds would, turn over to the local feeds at a certain time. Well, this game was going long, and it came down to like the most important play at the end of the game. So all throughout America, whoever was watching that game, I think most of them, the play started and the game cut out and turned to the movie Heidi.
Yeah, what happened is it was the Oakland Raiders and the New York Jets.
Yep.
Oakland scored 2 touchdowns in the final minute of the
Jeez.
game to win the game 43-32.
Wow.
The coverage on the
And-
East Coast went to Heidi.
Right. So all of these people were just furious, writing into the NFL, writing into the local stations, writing into the networks themselves. I mean, it was a huge national blunder for the NFL.
And NBC, for that matter.
And NBC. So I'm assuming after that, things were looked at differently on the network side and things were changed. Because a lot of people, imagine having money on that game. I don't care if you're a fan of the Jets or whatever. Imagine you're in North Carolina and you put money on that game, and just before the last play, it cuts and moves to like a small redhead girl standing in an open field dancing. You're gonna be pissed, and a lot of people were. It is, to me, nationally. That is one of the biggest blunders and disappointments in a lot of people's eyes, especially for the NFL themselves and NBC. So that's why I put that on my list.
Okay. Interesting.
We're going to call it Heidi Bowl.
Heidi Bowl.
That's what it was.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Heidi Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nick, I want to hear some of yours. I'm not familiar with some of these, so
Yeah, I'll start
keep
with
us
my
up to
first
date.
heartbreak. Let's go in chronological order here for me. My first one, just real quick, favorite hockey player of all time, and my hero as a kid, Paul Correa. Okay, when I first got into hockey, he played for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. I initially chose the Ducks because of the movies, and I was a kid, and it was who I decided to cheer for. And this guy was my hero. I idolized him, and we're the number 9, and because he wore it, and he was a small, undersized, very skillful player. He played for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, was drafted by them. He was their phenom, and for many years, the Mighty Ducks were kind of a laughing stock around the NHL. Paul Correa put up a lot of points and was, they're always their leader and their captain and always their best player. Well, in 2003, they made a coaching change. They picked up some guys at the trade deadline, and they went on a little run. And they actually, for I think only maybe in 2003, it was probably only their 3rd appearance ever in the Stanley Cup playoffs. They enter the playoffs as the number 7 seed, and they go on this magical Cinderella run. They in the first round they swept the dynasty Detroit Red Wings 4-0 right off the rip. I mean, unbelievable. Didn't feel like that was ever possible. They were grossly outmatched and definitely the heavy underdogs. And then they go on to the second round, and they are up against the defending Stanley Cup champion Dallas Stars that year. Dallas Stars in the early 2000s were a powerhouse as well. Beat them in 6 games. So they're on this incredible Cinderella run. Go on to the next round, to the Western Conference Finals. They sweep again the Minnesota Wild this time. So through 3 rounds of the playoffs, they have lost 2 games the whole time. 2 sweeps. And then they're up against the New Jersey Devils in the Stanley Cup Finals, who, elite, legendary goaltender Martin Brodeur is now a Hall of Famer, and a lot of incredible talent on those early 2000s Devils team. So basically, I mean, these two teams go back and forth. No team loses on home ice. And in one of the this whole magical run gave birth to one of my greatest sports moments ever, and it's affectionately referred to as off the floor, on the board. My favorite player, Paul Correa, comes across the blue line, looks down at the puck for a fraction of a second, and gets knocked out completely cold. The hit to this day is very jarring to see. Open ice hit from Scott Stevens of the New Jersey Devils, who is heavy hitter. In this today's NHL game, that hit would have been illegal, and he would have been suspended for that because it was absolutely a headshot. Knocked him out cold. Paul Kariya is laying there. He looks dead. In the moment, he looked dead. He was not breathing. He's just laying on the ice, just complete snow angel. And all of a sudden, he's wearing a half visor, and you see him come to because a puff of air fog hits his visor, and that's him like waking up, right? There again, in today's NHL, this beautiful moment that unfolded never would be allowed to happen because he would have been taken back for concussion protocol. He would have had to sit the rest of the night, all that stuff. They take him out at the end of the second period when this hit happens. He comes back on the bench for the third, comes out in his first shift, and gets over the blue line into the zone and absolutely rips a slap shot right past Martin Brodeur. And the legendary call is Paul Kariya off the floor on the board, and everybody's going nuts in Anaheim. It's this amazing thing. The Ducks have never had anywhere near this kind of success, and the adrenaline's pumping, and this magical moment's happened. So that was game 6, which forced a game 7. And then in game 7, they lay a giant fucking goose egg and lose 3-0 in game 7. And let's see, 2003, I was, let's see. It was, let's see, I would have been 13. And that absolutely crushed me, them losing that way. I'm gonna it's a little dark, but that's the first time I ever was like, I don't know that there's a God, because I laid in my bed and went like, why would this happen to me? This isn't like it's me, right? It has nothing to do with anybody else in the world. But I'm in this moment. I'm just like, you know what? God damn it! I try to be a good kid. I listen to my parents. I do well in school. I'm respectful to people. I'm nice. This is the thing that I love the most. Why can't I have this? And it never did happen. Paul Kariya, my hero, he never won a Stanley Cup.
Is that the moment you started turning into a piece of shit? Because you're like, what does it matter?
What is the point?
What does it matter?
So, it was my most crushing. And at that point in my life, it was the most crushing thing that had ever happened to me, if you can call it that, because it didn't happen to me directly. It didn't change my life, but it certainly.
Personal, but like, weren't your parents already divorced by then?
They were not.
I was going to say, and then that's the most crushing thing.
Looking back, that was worse. Absolutely.
All right.
2003 Stanley Cup Finals is way worse than their divorce. Fuck yeah. Oh, still terrible. But yeah, yep. So that's my story. That is my personal one of the absolute just most heartbreaking moments.
You telling that story, my heart is breaking for a tiny mullet-headed Nikolai laying in his bed, laying in his bed with his little mullet heart broken. I'm very sad for this.
Pre-Quiznos.
That's right. It was pre-Quiznos. Yeah, it sure was.
Yep.
Man.
Brian, break our hearts, baby. Let's hear it.
I'll give you the Celtics one here. So this is 1987 Lakers Celtics. This is the third time that they played in the finals in the 80s. Just epic series. Bird versus Magic. I mean, this is Michael Jordan, his second season, so he was still an up-and-comer. The Bulls are still not a good team. So Celtics and Lakers ruled. Lakers won the most championships in the 80s. 86 Boston had one of the best years in NBA history, literally. Bird at the top of his game was always my favorite player in the 80s. 87 Boston gets past Detroit when Detroit was the up-and-coming bad boys era and all that. They get past Detroit to get to the final, but they're battling injuries. Lose the first 2 games in LA. Wins game 3 in Boston. You've got to win game 4. If you lose game 4, you're in serious trouble. And just coincidentally, it happened to be the night that I graduated high school.
Oh wow!
At the Akron Civic Theater, right?
Oh,
and
with your red tuxedo and your trumpet?
No, we just had a buttoned-up shirt and a tie under the gown. Me and my very good friend at the time, Todd, who has since passed on, but he was a big Lakers fan and I was a big Celtics fan. We did our graduation. We just thought we'd try to get into a bar to see what happened. We wound up walking across the street to, at the time, it was Bilbo's Mr. Bilbo's at the time, which some of the old signage and stuff are now in Mike's and Kent. That's just kind of a story there a little bit. You can see some of the old signage is in that place, but it's now like the Lock 3, I think it is, the Lockview. Lockview has all the grilled cheese. And anyways, we get in, we get a beer, and that game is on. And we're watching that game, and this is the game you may
Did
or
you
may not
not
see.
get carded because of your feathered
Didn't.
mustache?
Did not get carded. The drinking
Okay.
age then was 19, right? So we could
Oh,
pass
okay.
still.
All right.
And you can look it up on highlights, but Magic Johnson gets the Lakers are down. He comes around and does this like mini hook shot, swishes it. Lakers are up by 1 point. Boston has a chance to still take the lead, get the ball to Bird. He gets a great look at a shot, gets a great shot off, just banks off the rim. Boston loses 107-106, down 3-1, wins the next game, but then loses the final game. Celtics lose in 6. That was it for Larry Bird and that era in Boston. He played a few more seasons. He played into the 90s.
Sure.
But Boston never got that far again with Larry Bird. That was
it.
You didn't know it at the time.
Sure.
But to lose to the Lakers and and just you had a chance to win game 4. It just, so close. And then again, when you look back on it, it's like, man, that was it. They never got that far. You didn't know at the time. They never got that far again.
No.
So it was just kind of a weird thing that it happened to be on graduation as well.
Sure.
It was like a whole kind of passage of time to just a different era of your life and, sports that, your sports hero that you grew up with and this and that and the other. So that's it. So just for me personally, it's very bittersweet to see Magic make that goddamn hook shot to beat Boston. Still could have won anyway, but that was the pivotal moment when he made that.
Into your emotions on that night.
That was it. That was it.
That is a way to put that.
Man.
See,
God damn.
I can respect the that time period. I know when I walked across the stage, and this isn't a joke, I wore house slippers and had a beer in each pocket as I walked across stage, shaking the hands of the principal, and got my diploma. And then we chugged beers in the parking lot of E.J. Thomas Hall.
All right.
So,
good
Fast
memory.
times at Ridgemont High. Yeah,
it's close. I was a D-gen. All right, my next
Did you
one.
use that in past tense?
That's fair. All right, so I went with Heidi. Now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a personal one. 1995. I was 14 years old. I was just at the right age, in the right emotional state, to really appreciate sports and the love of the game and the love of. I mean, I'd always loved baseball as a kid, but like you were at the time to really appreciate it, right? 14. And
it's something to rally around with your buddies and everybody's watching it.
Yeah,
it's
leading
kind of
up to it. The Indians hadn't been to the World Series since 48? 54. So I actually have a box of newspapers with if you remember, they had the magic number at the top of the Akron Bees Journal leading up to what it took for the Guardians to clinch the Central Division Championship. So I have all those papers. I have all throughout the playoffs, the World Series. I have a whole box of these World Series, like you'd see in the Bennigans or whatever, in frames. I have all the newspapers. It was the most vested I've ever been into any sort of sports thing. You watch stuff and you're like, oh, that sucks that, the drive happened, the shot happened. No, that sucks. But my heart and soul was into this.
It was exciting back then.
What hurt the most was 1995. We had the ultimate team. That roster, not only hitting, but pitching, closing with Jose Mesa. You couldn't, if you told anybody that you were going to be at Game 6 of the World Series with Jose Mesa being able to shut it down and end it, or Game 7, I'm sorry, Game 7 and end it, you go, I'd take that any day of the week. And we had it. We had Jose Mesa, our star closer. I mean, he was off the chart. I mean, just shut down everybody. So when he comes on in the ninth, no worries. We're 3 and out. World Series are ours. Nope. Gets up hit after hit. They score. Atlanta gets ahead. Have to go into the bottom of the ninth with or top of the ninth, one of them. But Charles Nagy, they had to bring him on to close it up.
Oh, dude, you're thinking of 97, dude.
Am I thinking no?
Yeah.
Am I conflating the two?
Yeah, 97 against the Marlins. 97 was bottom of the seventh, or it was the seventh game. They had Jared Allen, or whoever, not Jared Allen. Jared, what was that kid's name? I'm watching the Cavs here in the background, but they had a young pitcher pitch, not Jared Allen, but it was Jared somebody, but he pitched the entire game into the ninth inning. They bring in fucking Jose Mesa and fucking blew it. And then they brought Nagy in, and Nagy lost it. That's okay. That's all right.
Well, all right. First, technically,
you didn't care as much as you claim you do.
Right. Well, I've also been drinking all day. All right. So regardless, it technically wasn't Nagy's fault. Yes, Nagy gave up the hit to end the game for them to go over, but Mesa should have had that in the bag. You know what I mean?
That was, that was a tough loss. Yeah,
that's
was tough.
The tough one for Mesa to, and that's my sports moment. What my disappointing sports moment. I'm not talking about, game or numbers. I'm talking about Jose Mesa.
Yeah,
Mesa is my disappointing sports moment because he was golden.
Yeah, he was automatic that year. Yeah,
nobody would even thought that could have happened.
Mm-mm.
But him blowing it enough to have Nagy come in with what? He wasn't ready for that, and he was not a closer and all that. But for Jose Mesa to that sucked. So regardless of what year it was.
Well, the Braves won 4-2 that year, but Cleveland that year they had
it was the Marlins one.
I think they had the best record in baseball that year. Cleveland, they had over 100 wins. But just in general, that era of the Cleveland Indians, like I said, it's one of the best probably baseball teams put together that ever won the World Series, probably ever. When you look at all the statistics, and that was crazy. And couple it with the strike season as well in 1994. The top two teams in baseball that year had the best records: the Cleveland Indians and the Montreal Expos. You may not even remember that.
Dude, do you ever watch?
Those teams were kicking out. That was the year that Jacobs Field opened. It was all hype, and they fucking go on strike and cancel the whole goddamn World Series.
Did you ever get to watch out on Netflix the Expos documentary? So cool.
That's
you need to watch that because it talks about that too.
Is that one of the untold ones or whatever?
Yeah,
like on Netflix.
Yeah. Okay, very good.
All right, Nick, give us another one. All right, make sure you have the right year with your
eat shit.
Recollection, please.
Mine. First of all, we're called convincing idiots.
Yeah. The year on mine's pretty good. It's referenced a lot in Maple Leaf fandom circles. So the year is 2013. Setting the stage here. It's a lockout shortened season. So they only played 54 games.
Said Toronto Maple Leafs and Leafs.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Game, set, match, dude. Leafs. Like fucking dude.
All right, I
I'm
get
putting them on the list no matter what.
I actually did struggle to see which year I should go with. It was either this year, it was either 13 or the 2022 season where they blew a 3-1 lead to the Habs. It shouldn't have even been in the playoffs, but it doesn't matter. This is actually really what this is Genesis really for the modern era of Toronto Maple Leafs. 2013, it's a lockout shortened season, so there was they had negotiations that they didn't start the season until like January. They only played 54 games instead of 82, which is normal. And so the Leafs that year, Leafs are in a weird place. They've got a couple, like, no really bona fide superstar players, but a couple bigger fish on the team, right? But they're kind of middling. The Leafs at this point were kind of afraid to admit of what they were, that they needed to maybe do like a rebuild, but still trying to make it. So they actually had a really good season, and in the playoff shortened season, they had a good enough record to make the playoffs. Now, they were a lower seed, and they played against the Boston Bruins in the first round, who were at the height of their powers. I mean, Boston Bruins 2013. I mean, that was an amazing team. They went all the way to the finals that year. So this actually, I don't know how many Maple Leafs fans, myself included, ever expected them to win this series, or much less like even to take it to a game 7, but they did. They got to a game 7, a lot of heart. Goaltender James Reimer played great. We're getting performances from the star players. Some of the kids it's done by committee. We get to game 7. We exit the first period tied 1-1. So that's pretty good. Game 7, we're hanging in there, acting like we belong. Scoring another goal there in the second period from Phil Kessel, I believe. We're up 2-1 after 2 periods. Then, amazingly, Nazem Kadri, Phil Kessel with a second. We're up 4-1. And with 11 minutes left in the third period, we have a 3-1 lead. And that's when it all starts to slowly
There's no
unravel.
way. I mean, you're up 3-1 in the third. There's no way you could blow that.
Yeah, 4-1. No, they're up 3 goals.
Wow.
They're up 4-1.
4-1. 4-1. No,
Yeah,
no.
don't
tell me that anybody can blow that lead.
Yeah, so let me take you. Let me just bring you to where I am in my life at this point. I'm up 4-1. We're up 4-1. And feeling good. Haven't experienced Maple Leaf playoffs before. This is fun. I have a young son at home. I think, let's see, 2013. Shit, Lane's 2 years old. This is where it's a very exciting time. And watching with bated breath, it's a really really fun to experience this. And you start to actually think, oh my God, like they're gonna win. They're gonna beat the Bruins. Like that's crazy because the Bruins is like again huge mismatch on paper. And my God, they came out because all it takes is any given day, any given game, and there we are, game 7, and they're making the most of it. And then you start to get that belief in you. Like I said,
That's your first mistake.
Let's see, 11 minutes left. The Bruins pot 1, so now we're only 2 up. So still pretty good. In hockey, if you're any type of a decent team, a 2-goal lead they say it's the most dangerous lead in all of hockey. Just because the momentum shift. If they get that one more, that one to tie it is just that much more likely. But they were, again, to rewind, they were up 3-1, or I'm sorry, 4-1. They were up 3 goals. They had a 3-goal lead. And then, with 4 minutes left, they score again. And in the last minute and a half, they tie it. That is the dagger. So it feels, because in that moment, you feel my heart sunk, because it was like it felt like you're standing at the bottom of a hill and an avalanche has begun, and there's nothing. It's like, the inevitable is coming, right?
It's not even mud. It's just horse shit rolling
and
down on you.
It only overtime, as I recall, it was an absolute fucking gong show, complete disaster. Everybody's standing around. They were visibly shook. Like the Leafs, they really started to act like the team they were in that moment. They started to show kind of that where they actually belonged, and not that they were this outperforming team. And it only took 4 minutes into the overtime for the Bruins to pot the eventual round winner. And that was a moment where I lost my shit like no other. I did. I went into my room and I threw a couple things and did that. When you you just you want to scream, but you're just audibly doing it. Because, like I said, baby Lane's in there, and
I did that
so
on
I
my
calmly
wedding day.
collected myself, and I walk out to the garage, and I take one of my old hockey sticks, big, thick, solid wooden one, and just start beating the shit out of everything that's on the wall, ladders and boxes, and I'm hitting fucking just beating the shit out of whatever I see that's not my car in my garage. I am happy to say I handled defeat differently now.
Sure,
Let's see. I was like 25 when this happened, so I definitely running hot. Like definitely just emotions were high. And like I said, this is just kind of my first time as a Leafs fan experiencing playoffs, and it was an exciting time. And to have it all taken away so drastically and so abruptly. And embarrassingly, it really was embarrassing. Like I said, the only reason that I kind of went back and forth with including this year's Maple or the 2013 or the 2022 is the thing about 2023 or 2013 that gives me solace is that truly, when you really look back on it, that team did not belong there in the first place. So they were outperforming and they were just running on hopes and dreams. So it would have been incredible to see them win that series. But there again, it was the first round, which the Leafs are, pretty used to getting to and then oftentimes never making it past. But it was only the first round. It wasn't like it was the finals. And looking back, I find comfort in the fact that honestly, they didn't belong in that series, and they showed it. It was just in that moment they showed it in a heartbreaking fashion, but it didn't make it hurt any less at the time. So the 2013 Leafs, it's people refer back to it all the time. They just say 2013 to a Leafs fan, and it's that epic 3-goal lead blown in the last half of the third period. It's so embarrassing. It's so terrible.
that
So,
sucks.
Yeah,
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. Brian, you're up, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nick had the same actual with the hockey stick beating everything in the garage when he realized he was going to marry my sister. He had the same reaction. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
Brian, what do you got there?
I get it.
What's
I
your
get
next
it.
moment?
Another Cleveland Indians one at the time, 2016. 2016 Cleveland Indians at the time, before they were the Guardians.
The rain delay.
Yes, you might remember. And so in 2016, it was highs and lows of Cleveland. This was the epic, one of the best sports moments ever. The Cleveland Cavaliers come back from 3-1 to defeat the best team record in basketball at the time, the Golden State Warriors. Just a phenomenal thing. That was unbelievable series. So Cleveland's riding high, and then while you're at it, all of a sudden the Cleveland Indians are playing well. It's like, wow,
Last quarter of
that's
the
kind of
season
neat.
just came alive.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Winning. It's like, hey, wait a minute. Is it somehow possible that the Cavaliers and the Indians could win a championship in the same season? It's
I know
just
it's
an
not professional,
amazing.
but the Monsters as well. They did it
Right.
just
There
a
you go.
month before the Cavs. So
There you
Nick,
go.
we were there.
big,
There you
yeah,
go.
big, yeah.
We were there
Yes,
for
we
that
were.
last
So
game.
three
Big
teams.
2016. Yeah,
Three teams. I mean, Cleveland, it's just amazing, right? So, and then again, the Indians gets all the way to the World Series. It happens to be the two teams that had the longest drought in World Series history, the Cubs versus the Indians at the time. And the Indians go up 3-1. And it's that same type of feeling as a fan where you're watching it, and it's like, okay, well, they're going to win. People are preparing attire and newspaper. It's all that the Cleveland Indians are finally going to end their drought. And then they lose. They're like, okay. They're like, well, they'll win game 6. Nope. Lose game 6. And it's like, And then you get to game 7 in Cleveland.
I forget
and it's
they
like,
were up 3-1. I
3-1.
remember that, watching, following along, and I forget that they were up 3-1.
That's a big, yeah. And then you're just watching it fade away in game 7, and it's like it's just going downhill.
We had the lead going in the rain delay.
Yeah, they're spiraling.
The rain delay destroyed our momentum. I am a very firm believer. If it wasn't for that rain delay, we would have wrapped up that game and won the World Series. That rain delay fucked us.
Yep, they were down and they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and you just feel it. Like you say, it's coming back. The electricity, the fans are going crazy. Like you said, fucking rain delay. And they came back, and I can't remember how long the delay was, but it was long enough to.
Hour, I think.
Yeah, long enough to suck up the momentum,
Momentum.
the momentum and everything,
That
and
hurt.
they lose. They
That
lose.
hurt.
That was just a tough, because
Yeah.
that series, just as a fan, definitely had the highs and lows. We're up. We're going to win. We still can do it. Oh my God, here we go
And
again.
let
And
me
then
tell
they
you,
come back that eighth inning. It's like, yes, somehow they're going to do it. You just felt like it was going to happen.
coming back
And nope.
like the rest of the season. The only reason, Brian, I didn't put that on my list
hmm
is because of the opponent. If it would have been like the Dodgers or somebody that like, oh, that's World Series champions, they just come in and beat us. The reason I didn't put it on the list is
the
because
Cubs are the only team with a longer drought than them.
it's right.
Yes, it was.
The Cubs was
Yeah.
the only team that you could have gone, okay, like it really, really sucked, but they deserve it too.
That was the only other team that you're like, okay, it's remotely tolerable for those fans in that city, because you knew that they felt what you felt,
Right.
But that was still a tough one. That was still a tough series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
So-
hard to not feel like truly, people always talk about like curses and things like that. But it's like something like that, like a rain delay that comes in at that moment and then shifts
Unbelievable.
everything. It's like, how does that not feel like an act of like nature or God that you're
Right.
just like, fuck,
Exactly.
like something doesn't want us to win. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was nutty.
I mean, regardless if you have like the curse of rain or whatever, or you could have the curse of the Bambino,
hmm
which Boston had for many, 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 many years. And then here comes 1986. 1986, they get to the world, or it's the playoffs, right, Brian? It was the playoffs.
Definitely was a playoff game. We'll look
It
up
was
here.
the ALCS to get to the World Series, and they're going to go to the World Series for the first time in, I probably at that point 70 some years, maybe.
Was in the World Series. It was the '86 World Series. Yep.
No, it's to get to the World Series, right?
Well, Bill Buckner's '86 World Series era. It was the
so
bottom
it
of the
was in the
10th
World
inning,
Series.
Game 6 of the World Series. Boston Red Sox versus the Mets, the Miracle Mets.
So this is Game 6. A lot of people don't think it was like the end. It ended the series, but it was Game 6. The hit goes up through Bill Buckner's legs. We've all seen it through the agony of defeat. The ball goes through Bill Buckner's legs. Mets score, win Game 6, which if Boston would have won, they would have won the World Series. But it
they were
does
up 3
bring
games to 2. You're right. They were up 3 games to 2 there, and then
so it
Mets
would have won the
won.
World Series for Boston if all Buckner had to do was catch the ball, throw it to first. Series over. They win the World Series. But it goes through Buckner's, like Bill Buckner, a fantastic player, like a Hall of Fame player, has had to live with the death threats and the hate and just the agony of defeat
For one play.
for one play. And if you look at the rest of his career, he was an amazing player. But for this one play, that's what he is known for, especially in Boston. And then Game 7 comes and Mets, end it and whatnot. But it didn't end in that game, but it brought it to Game 7, which the Mets won. But Bill Buckner, I think, is, if you look at the pop culture knowledge of the agony of defeat and disappointment, that is why I have Bill Buckner on the list. I think Bill Buckner and the 1986 Red Sox World Series definitely 100% deserves to be on this list. It's iconic.
Yeah, probably for those fans at the time, that's for sure.
Yep. So that's my 3, guys. Who's next?
All right. Well, I'm going to stick with baseball here.
All right.
This is the freshest wound and certainly the deepest.
Can you join the podcast?
Yeah. And all right, that would be 2025 World Series, Game 7, Toronto Blue Jays LA Dodgers. So I
Hmm.
obviously am a Toronto fan, and so that's where I'm coming from. But I think on this list, we discussed heartbreaking moments in sports, and Dean mentioned earlier, that Indians loss was tough, but they lost to the Cubs, and this is quite literally the 2025 Toronto Blue Jays. Literally, were the dead last place. They were the last place team in their division just the year before. So then they won the division in 2025. They went from last to first. They got incredible performances from not only their stars, but it was just, once again, done by committee and such a close knit group. Everybody was talking about how through the power of friendship, this Blue Jays team's getting it done and everybody's kicking in. Half these guys were playing in the minors last year and, all this and that. Incredible run. Got to see the Jays, beat the Yankees, beat the Mariners. We face the powerhouse LA Dodgers, and the LA Dodgers, who in which have superstar, potentially the greatest baseball player we've ever seen, Shohei Ohtani, on their team, who the Blue Jays were very much in contention to get just a few seasons prior. But he chose the Dodgers, so that's just another added layer of wouldn't it be fun to beat Shohei and the team that he chose instead of us, So Toronto, not the World Series drought, certainly. It's been since '93 since the Jays won, but still, long time, right? Not only that, they had the better record than the Dodgers. They had home field. So Game 7 is at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Sky Dome, and all the vibes are right. This is an amazing team, the Dodgers. Bo Bichette, one of their best players, had
So they have
spent
a new movie coming out with Grogu.
yeah, pretty much the entire postseason had been out with an injury and comes back in this final series against the Dodgers. And in the third inning, he hit a 3-run homer, and that felt just something was so perfect about it. And then it started from that shot. I remember feeling like this is destiny. Like this is happening. Like everything had just been breaking for us the whole time, and the momentum of game after game, series after series, all these moments are compiling and they continue to bounce back, and there's all these incredible moments that this Bo Bichette 3-run homer in the third felt like this is your cherry on top. Like this is, it was hard to get any kind of lead throughout the whole series. Essentially, this game went to 11 innings total, but before we even get to the 11th, I went back and rewatched some of this for the first time since that night, and I couldn't finish. I couldn't finish it. I forgot actually a little bit how many. So the IKF slide into home in the 9th inning is the one that everyone talks about, because to this day there's still people go, was he out or was he safe? It honestly, you can slow it down, you can zoom in, you can look at it from different angles. There's dust on the plate. There's almost simultaneously the feed. It's hard to really determine if he was out or not, but they reviewed it, and the ump says he was, in fact, out and called him out. So that would have right there sealed the deal for the Jays. With that run in the bottom of the 9th, if IKF is safe at home, the Toronto Blue Jays are World Series champions today. But he was out. After that, I forgot that in extra innings, Dalton Varsho almost ended it with a big hit to the outfield. And Kike Hernandez, and I can't remember the guy that actually made the catch, but they're both going for the ball in the outfield.
Yeah.
They actually collide into each other, and yet somehow, miraculously, the catch is still made for an out. So we keep playing, and eventually, in the 11th inning, the Dodgers hit a solo homer. They end the game. That's it. So you go through all these heartbreaks in sports. That one for me, I like I said, I handle heartbreak different these days. This just
Sure.
happened November 1st of 2025. So I just laid on my couch for a solid like 40 minutes and just in complete silence and stared at the ceiling and replayed everything that I just watched, everything that I experienced through the entire postseason run, the majesty of it all, like how just wonderful and incredible, and I couldn't believe it was real. I felt both heartbroken and yet numb, like it was like a full body numbness as I just laid there. It is the most hurt I have ever been by sports, and I can't imagine ever being hurt by it more. Now I understand there's probably a different level to it if you have a horrible collapse in a game 7 for the Leafs. I mean, the Leafs are certainly my number one, but after experiencing that, I can't, and I'm sitting there laughing to myself like maniacally, like the fucking Joker, thinking about all the times that I've been upset about first round Toronto Maple Leafs teams that, lose in a game 7. And I'm like, that's so fucking silly. That's such childish bullshit. That's insane, because none of it or all of it combined doesn't even begin to compare to what I felt that night. I have never been hurt by sports like I was on November 1st, 2025. And it's hard to imagine that I ever could again. Like I said, I'm sure a scenario exists.
It's going to happen.
I don't ever want to experience
It's going to happen.
But God, what a beautiful team to have. What a beautiful team to root for. What an incredible run that was. Memories I'll have forever. It grew me closer to the game of baseball forever and ever. And so I have that to be thankful for, but it also, talking to different people, and a lot of people like at work were giving me words of, condolences and things like that, a lot of which who are, Cleveland Guardians fans, and a lot of them, recalled back to 2016. And they were like, the worst part is it never gets better. The sting never really goes away because even if the Jays were to go and win the World Series this season, they could have won one last year too.
Yep.
And it would have been with all those, like, that'll never not just totally fucking suck. It is the most heartbroken I have ever been while watching sports, ever. Hands down, not even close. And it's hard to, just all the other times I've been upset over sports after experiencing that, I'm like, I can't believe that happened like that. And in Toronto, in game 7, it just fucking horrible. Absolutely gut-wrenching. So that's mine.
Yeah, I was definitely rooting for Toronto in that series. What a great game! That was one of the best World Series games probably ever.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
Yeah, I was definitely rooting for Toronto. Now, Dodgers sort of become the evil empire, buying all the talent, and Toronto had a shot to defeat them. It was just like, yes, stick it to the Dodgers, stick it to the man. It was the whole feeling. They're going to win, and God.
Yeah, unless you were a Dodgers fan, I don't think anybody was rooting for the Dodgers.
No, just a couple close plays, like you said. Like you said, the dude's incredible catch, and just some. But that's tough.
It was fun, and like around that, I was always, I was wearing Jays gear on game days and stuff like that, and somebody would see me, like, especially in this area, a lot of those Jays players were past guard. They had played in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, I mean, people were like rooting for them because they'd played for Cleveland. So every time somebody'd see me in like a Jays jersey somewhere, they'd be like, we're pulling for you. We got a lot of old Guardians and stuff. So in this area, but like, everywhere. I mean, you did feel a camaraderie around that team anytime I was wearing Jays stuff, because it's like everybody was rooting for you, But tough.
That's a rough one.
Brian, you got your last one?
Last one, I'll make it quick here. When Jimmy Johnson left the Dallas Cowboys, so as a Cowboys fan, as a kid, I was a Cowboys fan for many years. I almost picked the catch, Nick. The catch. I had the reaction as a kid that you had with when you were younger, when I watched the 49ers defeat the Cowboys with a Dwight Clark super ridiculous catch, and Cowboys lose 28-27, and I went and tore up a bunch of Sports Illustrateds in my room that had 49ers on the cover, just tore it up. That'll fix them.
Yeah, right.
All that type of stuff.
I don't know how to deal with this emotionally. Too young for this. I don't know.
But that was that was sort of the start of the decline of the Cowboys in the 80s, and they were just terrible through the 80s for a decade until, of course, they fire Tom Leonard, they bring in Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones buys the team, And as you remember, of course, being younger as well, they had a couple years they built up, 1-15, like 7-9, something like that. Just missed the playoffs. 11-5, get to the playoffs, lose to Detroit, and next season get in and have a it was gangbusters.
Unstoppable.
Defeat the 49ers in the championship game. Phenomenal. One of my best sports moments of all time ever there too. And had a run. And then you just they win the next 2 Super Bowls. And it's like, oh my God, this is really something that they're building up here. I mean, how long is this going to run? And then they just can't fucking keep it together. And Jimmy Johnson leaves. Was he fired? Did he quit? I mean, both guys will tell you a different story. And they bring in Barry Switzer, as you know, Nick. And then, they won another Super Bowl 2 years later with the talent that Jimmy Johnson brought in. But it was never the same. And never. That was last Super Bowl, 1996. Was it 30 fucking years ago now?
Yes.
And they still have not gotten back to even the NFC Championship game. And it all started when they got rid of Jimmy Johnson. Would it have lasted a long time?
Yeah.
Could they have kept it together with the rules changed?
I feel
that was
real bad for you, Brian.
Yeah, no kidding with the Browns.
Fucking bad for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're some teams never even got to the Super Bowl, like Cleveland, like you said. So it's hard to get too upset, but you just don't know. That's the thing is, you don't know.
We're just saying for teams with ownerships that actually do care about the team they have, that's a long time.
Right.
Right.
What could have been if they'd have kept him on there? Maybe they would have got back again. Maybe they wouldn't have. Who the heck knows? But just the fire, just left the team, and they haven't been able to bring it back since.
Yep.
And again, free agency changed. There was a lot of different rule changes. Okay, so it would have been harder to keep the team together anyway. I get it, but that was that moment to me was the decline of the Cowboys, and they've never been able to recapture it since.
No, nope.
Even though they won the Super Bowl, it still wasn't the same. That was it.
Well, it was Jimmy's team. You or I could have coached that team to a Super Bowl. I mean,
but seems that way. Yeah. All right. Was there any other ones?
We have nope. That's it. And nothing went through automatically.
Yeah, I would imagine not.
I am going to start with just for my heart going out to Nick and his lifelong sadness. I'm going to put the Maple Leaf Bruins on the list. I'm going to second that. Brian.
Yeah, I'm just going to give Dick 2 right there. I'm going to say the both Toronto losses, the Blue Jays and the Maple Leafs, just because we know Nick's passion for those teams, and
I
you can definitely feel his pain and his story. So I'll give him both of those.
Appreciate that. It's a nice consolation to at least make the list.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. And I would like to second that with, the more we were talking about, I was relating the Jays story to the 2016 Guardians was just, I don't know, that one, it's hard to tell, because I'm not in those moments. And I certainly remember 2016 more than 97. I remember 97. Sure. I remember being aware of it, but I think I was in grade 5. So I wasn't, and also we were watching it because it was a thing at the time, but nobody in my really family watched baseball. So I wasn't super familiar with what was going on. But 2016, certainly, living here and having friends who are, big fans and stuff like that. I
remember standing there alone in my living room, watching just feeling the most alone, just looking around going, this can't be fucking real.
Yeah.
Out of a simple goddamn rain delay?
That's how I watched the 97 game, Dean, right there. I was in my apartment with Cooper, and I lived together at the time. Nobody was home. Nobody was out. I watched that game alone in the living room, pacing back and forth.
And it feels so hollow and
my
distraught.
God. That was
horrible.
That's how I was in my living room and Robin was in there with me. And then at a certain point, she quietly walked away, kissed me and was like, I love you. And went to bed. And I was just then you're just sitting there alone, just dealing with it because she can't understand.
Just make sure the gunshot doesn't wake us up.
Just Jesus. Yeah. Oh God.
It's hard to
Yep.
pick which. We have to have an Indians one here, being in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah,
I don't know
for
which
sure.
one is
It
worse.
does.
You could argue either one. You know, I
That
honestly,
Marlins one, we were so
I'm-
much better than
I'm-
them.
I want to say I want to say
Fuck.
97. 97
Me
was
too.
worse because
So I'll let you guys
90
pick on that. Yeah.
So bad.
95 they were a great
We got beat
team.
by a better team, but we did get beat by a better team. 95.
But 97 they
Not
weren't
by much,
expected. They weren't expected to be there in 97. And
But
I remember
once we got there,
97.
we were so much better than the Marlins. The
Yeah,
Marlins.
and I remember we beat the Yankees, I think, in the
Yeah, right,
championship round or
right.
something. That was like,
Yeah.
man, that was so fucking good. And it was a goddamn fucking Florida Marlins. It was just in the
That
league for like
hurt
45
so
minutes.
bad.
In the
Yep.
league
That's
for
like
like 45 minutes, and then they
Yep.
fucking pull together a couple players, and that is not supposed to happen. And then they fucking dismantled the team the next year. I remember that. They fucking dismantled
like
the
if-
team and sold them off, all their high priced talent. Oh, that was it. And then that era of Cleveland Indians, all those Jim Thome and Albert Bell and Carlos Baerga and
You'll never
all those guys
see a team
never got
like
back.
that. Nope.
Never got back again. Never got back again. That was really tough. Yeah, so I'm gonna get edge now. I'm gonna get edge 97 over
Me too.
2016. Yeah, especially because 2016 we also had the Cavs at once, so it was already a magical year in
We
Cleveland.
already
That
were
would have been
feeling
like
good
icing
in a
on the
certain
cake.
part. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I have to argue Bill Buckner just for the national acknowledgement. Like everybody know, you could probably talk to anybody who's not a Boston fan and say the name Buckner, and they knew who you're talking about and why you said it.
Sure.
It's just, I mean, for all, especially being fans of teams that come close and have just that curse that we do, we know what that's like, and we know to have the drive, the shot, the fumble. As Northeast Ohio fans, we know what that's like, and to have Bill Buckner on a national stage, because Boston is a bigger market than Cleveland. It is on a bigger stage. So the Bill Buckner shot to me is just iconic, and if you're just talking about disappointments, to me that has to be on the list. So there's my argument for Bill Buckner.
I can't give anything to the Boston Red Sox. Sorry.
All right.
I was actually having that thought. I'm like, it's hard to ever feel sympathy for Boston.
But you're
they
putting
won.
them on a list of shitty things. It's not like
yeah,
you're putting them on a good list.
That was tough. That was tough for them at the time, but they did go on and win. And
All
again,
right.
being a Cleveland baseball fan, the dicks that we had to play against those Red Sox teams back then, f
Sure.
them anyway.
No, I agree.
Sorry.
Okay. That's
Sorry,
fair.
Boston.
That's fair.
Get that out
All
of
right.
here. He blocked that shit. He's like, nope.
Then we have two
Fucking
more.
Boston.
We need arguments for two more.
The Skyhook one is interesting.
I like that one.
That
Yeah.
one is a good one. Because like you said, I mean, those were such like icon. What a rivalry! Like the Lakers and the
Oh,
Celtics.
man.
And the, like,
I'm honestly, I mean, I
Magic and
like
Bird,
that
For
whole
Boston. I'm rooting
thing.
for Boston there. See,
Yeah,
I
there
like
you go.
that
Yeah.
whole thing, Nick. But the reason I'm going to go with it is honestly Nick's story or Brian's story. The graduation and it just the whole feeling of it made me, feel bad for that mullet-headed little fella, drinking a cheap ass beer at a shitty bar.
That's what it was. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
I'm
get
gonna
much
second
lower than that, does it? Just
Nope.
damn it.
He hit rock bottom. So I'll agree to
And
put
right
that.
as he graduated, the night he graduated high school.
Done.
Damn.
Your
just like
life's
that.
gonna begin.
Shit.
Oh.
Magic. Yep.
So
Yep. All right. Thank you.
what year was it? Lakers.
Lakers Celtics 87
All right.
finals. Game 5.
All right, so is that 4 of them taken? So we got
Yep,
one more
Yep.
spot.
one more.
And so what do we got? We got Heidi Bowl. We got your Buckner,
Jimmy
and we've got We've got Paul Correa,
and Jimmy
Anaheim
Johnson
from
leaves.
2003.
Yep.
Jimmy
Yep.
Johnson leaves. Okay,
Buckner's off the table.
I certainly the Ducks thing. That's 2003. That was up until this past year. That was the worst sports thing for me.
I mean, it's a hell of a story that you painted there. So
but
I'm not
yeah, there
opposed
is
to this.
that. And it was like I said, it was a Cinderella run, and the Ducks they were a team that had not had really any. They were kind of they were like, oh, that's the Disney team. It's the Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean? That was kind of always the thing, right? And here they were taking on. I think the Devils had already won in 2001. They won 2 years prior to when they won again. So to take them to even 7 games again was kind of a big deal. It's just a really magical kind of set of circumstances. I guess anytime you're following a team through, especially you're talking,
Sure.
and that's not to take anything away from football, but football's one game. When you're playing series like you are in hockey and baseball and
Right.
basketball, you're going through it. Every other day, your team is battling. And if you're in it with the team, you're watching them every 2 to 3 days, and you're living and dying by every possession, by every, in everything that happens. And it feels like such a little miniature story in your life. You know what I mean? So when it's over, like it's the same thing I was thinking about the Jays when I'm replaying all these good and bad moments and all these epic things you had and where you were and how you felt when this happened. So it was definitely that. So yeah, just to even get that far, and then ultimately the reason I think the Jays thing hurt worse, even though the Ducks and Korea were like my childhood. They did. They ultimately got shut out in that game 7. It was the ride of it to ultimately just be a wet fart in game 7 and lose 3-0 sucked so hard. But at least it wasn't like in heartbreaking fashion like that Jays one was. But God, it still was. It was. I mean, you really felt you're like this is. This is. You're manifesting this. This is going to happen for you. So that was tough. But man, that Brian, like you said with the Jimmy Johnson thing, it's like. It is not an isolated moment on the field, but it is a definitive moment in the franchise that absolutely sent shockwaves through
And sports history,
something
really.
that was so automatic. Like that team, that Cowboys team
With 2
of the
fucking in a
90s
row.
was so fucking automatic. And
Yeah.
what they had, and with Jimmy, and it all comes down to ego and pride of ownership versus coaching. And that's a really bitter and sour way to let something so amazing fall apart. Yeah, like I can't imagine, like if this podcast was like so huge that we were making millions of dollars from it, I can't imagine being like, I'm leaving because people see Brian as the head of the show. Like that's insane. You're like whatever is happening here, it's magic, right? If it's working out,
I'm leaving because it
it's
doesn't
insane.
give me head during the show.
That's wild. But yeah, I don't know. I personally, like I said, I personally relate to both of them. Certainly for me personally, the Ducks one again because I brought it up and that was the thing I experienced. But I also do have a tie to the Jimmy Johnson thing as well. I mean that certainly impacted me as a Cowboys fan as well. So I don't know.
Still angers me. That's still angers me.
Let me
And he put him in the goddamn Ring of Honor till he's a fucking old man. I mean, Jesus
and that
Christ.
felt like
so stupid.
Felt like it was a curse
dumb.
buster. Like because that year the Cowboys were pretty good. And it looked like they had some, they had some good playoff performance the first round. That was CeeDee Lamb also broke Michael Irvin's record that year, and that was the same year as Jimmy Johnson going to the Ring of Honor. I remember feeling like I think something feels like maybe there's like some curse busting stuff going on here, but still no, same shit.
Well, I'm going to go with the curse busting myself. And my choice between those two, I would pick Jimmy Johnson leaving the Cowboys. I think it not only hurts individual people watching or like some of the other things we've on the list, but this hurts a fan base
Right.
collectively, and not at a moment, like, in a game, but like it
Decades.
hurts them, right, for a long time, for a decision. So I'm going to second the Jimmy Johnson thing to end our list, if
I'll sign off on that.
all three are on it.
Yep.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
At 5?
Yep, that's 5.
Wow.
Yeah, 2013 Leafs,
All right. Yep.
2025 Jays.
Yep.
We got the 97 Cleveland Indians against, right? Okay. And then we've got the Magic.
Magic
Skyhook.
Johnson defeat, 87
And Jimmy
finals.
Johnson leaves the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy Johnson is fired from the Cowboys, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
Was he as a mutual split?
Both
No,
guys
'cause
say
Jerry-
different.
no,
Watch that
Jerry
documentary.
fired him.
They both have a different take on how what went down. So
Well, because Jerry said there was that whole thing at Disney where he was like, when they toast to the and he was like, he held on to that reporter and said, "Don't leave. I'm about to fire Jimmy Johnson." So at least, that's at least Jerry's side of it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress.
It sucks.
Bullshit.
Well, boys, I think we did it. I think we came up with the ultimate list of
Heartbroken
disappointments in sports history.
Disappointments in
Yeah,
sports
but-
history is key.
At least
because,
our sports history.
That's right.
I'm amazed no Cleveland Browns made the list here.
That is pretty wild.
The drive or the fumble. I'm surprised.
Maybe it was
either
low
one.
hanging fruit. Everybody probably was like,
that's honestly what I was thinking.
It's a little
Like,
too
it's
on
so
the nose.
easy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I didn't want to go too Northeast Ohio centric. So
Gotcha.
I had the fumble as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, regardless of all the disappointments we have felt, you can come back here each and every week and perhaps feel disappointed yourself and listen to Convincing Idiots. So if you've not already done so, be sure to find us on all of our social media accounts. Find links to those by going to Google and typing in Convincing Idiots link tree. You can also go to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. For episode 290 of Convincing Idiots, I'm Millennial Nick.
The Zennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you that there are perhaps even bigger disappointments out there for you to lend your ears to?
We're not the worst.
World's okayest podcast.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's make that t-shirt.
Okay adjacent podcast.
I like it.
Yep.
Hey, did you like that video? You know you did, and we know you did. So stop screwing around and go like that video, subscribe to our channel, and join us for some more.
Ham grape.
Oh, wait.